John Coward.
Stan Nato.
Liz Snyder.
Bob Carrier. Thomas McDougall.
Maureen Steer.
Ann Walsh.
Okay, we have a quorum. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight, we're going to go into the merit raise and the insurance and benefits, which is the last two components of the budget. I received several emails, and those that I was able to print out was the insurance and benefits, and I printed out the worksheets as well. I don't know if everybody got them. And what I want to do is start with the insurance and benefits first. Probably nobody has had a chance to read them. I know I haven't been able to. But
Are you jumping over the minutes?
what's that?
Are you jumping over the minutes?
No. Oh, yes, I am. My mistake. Thank you.
As you wish.
Yeah, as I wish, but I want to stay with the agenda. Okay, is it? Did anybody have a chance to look at the minutes? Has anybody got any questions or any omissions? If not, I'll look for a motion.
I move we accept the minutes as written.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Are those opposed? Motion passed. Okay, now we'll get back to the schedule. Okay, this is a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen to discuss the proposed 2016 town budget. And hoping to do that we can take some action tonight. And the first thing that I want to do is the insurance and benefits. Now, I got these early this morning. I spent some time printing them off, and I don't think anybody's had a chance to look at them, but does anybody have any questions about them? Well, Liz, would you probably give us the highlights of it?
Sure, yep. So line 210, health insurance is through school care, and we did receive a 6.5% increase this year. We have 27 full-time employees, and we offer 3 plan levels on the HMO plan, the 1-person, 2-person, and a family plan. And in your backup, you'll see the breakdown of how many 1-person plans, how many 2-person plans, and how many family plans for the total. Now, this health insurance contract starts July 1st, so in the calendar year 2016, you'll see 6 months of the current rates and then 6 months of the new rates for a total of $515,474. You want me to just go down line by line?
Would you please,
Sure.
just to,
Yep.
anything that's changed, those that stayed the same, which I think there's a couple, or maybe not even all, anyway, but just go over it anyway. That way they would give me an idea.
So, in calendar year 2015, we had 28 full-time employees, but one of the full-time positions was switched to a part-time position. So that's why you'll see under line 215 dental insurance, it decreased a little bit, and that's because we only have 27 full-time employees. The dental insurance remained the same. There was no increase on that. Line 233, New Hampshire Retirement System, this is for Group 1 employees only, which is full-time employees except fire and police. It's highway department workers, town hall workers, etc. This is mandated by state law. These percentages, these amounts, it's based on the wages. That's increased slightly, less than 100, well, yeah, a little under $100. Line 250, life insurance. The life insurance premium remained the same, there was no increase on it. And if you multiply it out by 27 employees, it comes to a total of 648. And that is a decrease from 2015 because it's 27 employees, not 28 employees. Unemployment insurance line 260, that did increase for 2016, about $150 roughly. That's based on usage. It's actually less expensive to have unemployment insurance than it is to pay all of the unemployment claims that employees would put in for at the unemployment office.
Okay.
Line 280, workers' comp insurance, that decreased about, I don't know, $3,500 or so. That's based on usage. So,
60,
what is it?
68%. Workers' comp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
66,278 minus 62,611.
Okay.
I don't think it's that much.
No, you're right, Mr. Strong on that.
Anyways, you can see the difference between the
Yeah,
2 years.
yeah.
3667. Thank you, Tom. Line 520, property and liability insurance, that did increase 7% for 6 months. This is this particular contract starts July 1st, so 6 months are at the current rate in 2016, and then the other 6 months are at the new rate. This is based on usage. Right now, we're in a 3-year cap program with them that they cannot increase our property liability insurance by more than 7%. We had 15 claims, I believe it was, so far in 2015. About half of them were zero money claims, so there was no, they didn't have to pay anything out. I can review them with you if you'd like.
No, that was fine.
Okay. Line 530, property and liability deductions. For every claim that's put in for property and liability insurance, there's a $1,000 deductible. So we budget for those deductibles. I had requested originally $8,000, and at last evening's selectmen's meeting, the selectmen reduced it by $2,000 down to $6,000 for a grand total of $740,343.
That is a sizable increase.
Now, on the health insurance, which was the biggest increase of all the insurances, we do have some vacancies in town in some of the full-time positions. And when you have a vacancy in a full-time position, you have to budget for health insurance because you're going to fill it at some point. But you don't know who you're going to hire, and you don't know which plan they're going to take. So you have to kind of prepare for, I don't want to say the worst, but the most costliest plan. So you have to budget for a family plan for those vacant positions. Now, any money that is not paid to the insurance company at the end of the year out of this budget, like the others, goes into the general fund, and then once the books are closed out, it goes into the fund balance, which can then be used towards the tax rate if the selectmen wish the following fall.
Okay. Anybody got any questions?
One small offer of a phrase. It's a full exposure cost for the health insurance. And I know historically the school district has had that problem year after year because people become families.
Yeah,
Small question, the property values have gone up 2.4%. Does that mean that Primex believes that a complete and total loss by fire, for example, would be 2.4% more costly to them?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure, but I don't believe so.
Okay, told you it was a small question.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Okay. Next item. The merit raises and the COLA. Has anybody got questions on that? I firmly believe that they should have that 2% COLA, merit and the 1.7% COLA. We have good employees here. We need to keep them here. We're starting to lose some. And I feel that even though this budget is high, there are factors in here that's creating it. The debt service is one of them, but those are needed items. And as for the insurance and benefits, it's out of our hands. This is my opinion. Anyone else? Does anybody want to make a motion?
But,
Well, Larry?
well, just on that, rather than a merit phrase, in some civil service places, like where I used to work once upon a time, you got what was called a reward for not dying, a longevity increase. This merit pay is a risk performance exposure that Pat has said very pointedly and directly time after time. If they don't do what I think is excellent work, they don't get it, and that's where the risk performance comes in. So it's not a reward for not dying that year. What motion would the chair wish?
A motion to accept the merit raise and the 1.7 COLA.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Hold on. I'm gonna do a roll call vote. You all set, Larry?
Oh, you sometimes there's
Okay, there's a discussion.
Discussion on the motion. Nothing to be discussed.
Any discussion at all?
Don't you think it'd be better to make two motions to split them into two different items?
I don't think we can control the cost of living. That's not
We
in
can
our
control whether or
hands.
not we're gonna support it, not,
I'm not
you're
gonna,
lump summing them both in together.
does anybody want to amend that motion? I guess the motion stands. Just for clarity, do we have control on that 1.7? It is a cost of living increase. It's not us, the government brings it out.
Well, it changes every month, and it does that every year, and it's been doing that for years and years and years. So you never know, really, in the future, what it's going to be each month. I've checked it several times in the last 6 months, and I get different figures every time. Back in the summer, I asked the selectmen what they wanted to do about COLA. Would they want to just go with the status quo of 1.7, which did seem reasonable at the time, and they did.
Now, if this budget goes in default, they still get the COLA?
They do. They
And-
do, because the selectmen made a motion in October for the default budget, for the 1.7% COLA, not merit. Merit does not go into the default budget, just the COLA.
That default budget you sent us, where is it based on the 1.7, the COLA and the 1.7 from this year?
The default budget,
I really haven't had a chance to look at it. I haven't
Okay.
printed it out for the committee, but I just want to know.
yep, it's based on 6 months' worth of COLA, because the selectmen's motion in the proposed budget and then the default budget is for the COLA and the merit to begin during the first week of July. It's not for the full year, it's just for 6 months. answers your question.
There was something else. I know Stan brought up the fact that the Social Security people are not changing it. And that's because the government needs to change the way they interpret their rules to it. What they posted was because of the gas prices going down, but there's other things that have gone up. It's Congress that has to make the change in how they do their business with that. The veterans, it's unfortunate, but it's another government entity that they don't have to give it. But there are people out there that are going to get this COLA. Even some of those who are making good wages, they're going to get it as well. So,
I can't remember the website that I go to, but it's the Boston CPI, which
Yes.
covers, well, at least northern New England, maybe all of New England, I don't recall. But New Hampshire is included in part. Yeah. It's all over the place every month.
okay. I know, I've seen New Hampshire wages are starting to move. I saw this on Channel 9 on the Sunday morning, Fred Coker. Not all sectors, but most sectors are starting to improve. In fact, even CNBC had one that they differ from the government, that wages are starting to rise. So,
They are. We just lost a truck driver last week. He went to another municipality in the same position for $5 an hour more. The week before that, we lost another truck driver. He resigned to go to his previous job for $20 an hour.
once you figure out the pay they're going to get, and by the time they take the FICA out and the Medicare, there's not going to be a whole lot. And, okay, Larry.
No, the hand is just up, I'm not interrupting you.
Okay,
When you're
the
done.
only thing I'm asking, do the employees contribute to some of these health care packages?
Yes, they do. The way it stands right now, it's basically an 80-20 split. It's a little convoluted, but, and I use the word basically because I remember at the town meeting in March, but the way, do you want me to explain it, or?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the way it's handled is, and the selectmen made this decision years ago, I'm not sure when, but they decided at that time that a one-person plan would be paid for 100% by the town, but not a two-person plan or a family plan. So if somebody were to choose a two-person plan or a family plan, the way that it's handled, or has been for years and years, is the amount of the one-person plan is deducted from the family plan, let's say. And that balance that's left over is done into an 80-20 split. 80 town, 20 employees, broken down into weekly payroll deductions. So, so as it stands right now for a family plan, right now the employees have $72 a week taken out of as a payroll deduction. Starting in July, it'll be $76.68. This is in the backup, which you've got.
Okay. So by the time they start taking this out, they're not gonna come up with very much.
Yes, now the dental is handled a little bit differently. On the dental plan, there's one plan that's offered. You can have a one-person, two-person, or family plan. The town pays 100% of the one-person plan, but that's it. If somebody wants a two-person plan or a family plan, the employee has to pay the full amount of that over the one-person plan amount. So as an example, I don't have that, so.
But that's okay, it's, it's explained enough. That's what my concern was, because by the time we start taking things up, there's not gonna be a whole lot left. Larry?
Pat, Devin's father's name?
Gary.
Gary? Okay. I was talking to him at least a week ago Friday, and he was talking about advertising positions and the positions not being filled because nobody was willing to step forward for the salary being paid. And that puts a tremendous strain on him and Lou because without coverage to have a second person, you were looking at injury with nobody there to help you. The other point I wanted to make is two points. One, that on the structure of full payment for a single person on health, in years past, we've had discussions that employees here are generally hourly employees. They have limited ability to accrue sick and vacation time to ride out employment. That a massive injury has a chance of coming from an automobile accident or from a covered workers' compensation injury, and most illnesses come and go without a major impact on the town budget. And the other point, going back to what you said, is that, and Stan's very question on the policy decision, and if we vote on this motion, we are basically voting that we agree with the policy decision of the selectmen to continue the COLA, and that the structure and salary that the town has and the costs of non-retained employees. It takes 3 months to train a new worker so that they can green side up for the sod installers. For the cost of retraining a new employee. So that was background for the motion that we've had in other meetings.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna call the vote. John? The
Yes.
yes will be, we agree to the merit raise and the COLA. A yes, no, a yes vote.
Before we vote, could I have a question?
Yes, go ahead.
To Liz's point on losing help, I'm not sure, but I'm almost sure that we're back to what we've been talking about for a year on CDL driver wages. And sitting through the last meeting, the budget committee cut $10,000 on equipment maintenance. Would it make sense to use that $10,000 towards upgrading the CDL wages for the truck drivers of the town of Milton? As we said here today, we got 3 brand new trucks sitting, like I stated 8-10 months ago, with no drivers. Question.
I think that would be up to the town to find the money and to decide what wages are gonna be paid. We don't dictate that kind of a policy. If they want the 10,000, they can take it right back.
Okay, next question is, has the Board of Selectmen got anything in place to handle this on a warrant article or whatever?
We're working on it.
Okay, thank you.
It's gonna be on the warrant.
Thank you.
You ready to vote?
Yes.
Stan?
No.
Lou?
No.
Tom?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Okay, and you're sitting over there, so you would be probably abstaining, right? Or you would be voting with the...
It's always been a question of whether I sit here or I sit there when it comes to this area. If you're asking for my input,
Well, you're part of you're the
Yes.
representative. Okay. So let's say 7-2, the motion passed. The raises are in, and so is the COLA. These are the 2 items that we needed to clear up. And now what I'd like to do, and I can't really use my sheets, but with mine, there's an error in it. My figures do not match the town administrators, even though I did make some changes. I may be using the wrong ones, but I have the ones here.
This one?
Yes.
When
I
did
made-
you take this one, Share?
Well, I'm not sure if that's the correct one. There are changes that I wrote to the committee. And let me see if my numbers will match. And the rate do not match. There's about a $1,600 difference. So all I'm going to do is I wish I would have known that earlier because I wanted to correct it. line, I might be able to find it. Okay. We can do one or two things. We can approve the total budgets, or we can do it, before I do that, is there anybody, this is the time to say something now if you want to change the budgets, if you want to remove something or add something, this would be a good time to say, because some of the department heads are here. If anybody wants to make any changes. Lou?
I had a question, Karen, on the rec budget. This budget this year is really, really high, and I can't, personally, I can't see the taxpayers going for a 4-point-something raise. And my question about your budget, you do a fabulous job, your helper does a fabulous job, but could you go without the extra 5 hours instead of the 20 hours? Could you keep it at the level it is now?
The reason that I put in for the extra 5 hours is she does get the 20 hours all during the summer.
Yes,
And
but
then
that's
when the
paid
teacher-
for.
Right, it's paid out of it, so 3 months of her salary doesn't even come out of the town budget. And when we close the beach and close the summer camp, the workload does not change. So we have basketball, soccer, senior program, specials as in summer kickoff, winter carnival, we have, the workload doesn't change, so yes, it would affect me. And I've been able to take an occasional day off and not work 6 out of 7 days a week because of those 5 hours. So I prefer it to stay in, and let the voters choose whether to support it or not. Because like I said, the workload doesn't change, I just, again, am trying to scrape. I end up doing the 5 hours myself for nothing. Because the workload is still there, it does not change. That's my answer in a nutshell.
Okay, Lou, anything else? Anybody else?
Bob, I know you sent us by way of email the default budget. I did not print it out. Do you have that number?
No, I don't. This came in late, and
Do you have it available?
I do.
Can you tell us, please?
you will get printouts as soon as I get another
Yeah, he
printout.
just wants the bottom line.
That's okay, I mean, I'm going to print this up out.
4,165,069.98.
Okay. Anybody else on anything? Okay, there is one thing, Liz, I saw in here. The fire department, I believe that one there was changed. It's, the bottom line is 410,306.
Yeah, .97.
Okay, here, the number's not the same. This is the one you issued out to me. And there's also another change. So possibly my budget is correct. You said that the Medicare line changed.
Yes, on October 13th, the Budget Committee reviewed and made one amendment to the Medicare line.
Okay. And you gave me a total of 410,306, 306.96.
I didn't hear what you said.
410,306.96.
Any second?
Yeah, go ahead, I mean.
just check the Medicare line. So the Medicare line should be, it was increased by the budget committee in October due to some kind of a calculation error or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But in the selectmen approved it at 3,490.15. And I've got on that sheet I gave you
Yes.
earlier, it's 3,598.90, which is the true figure for the wages.
Okay, so that brings that budget $410,306.96. On the sheet here, it's still got the old number, because I did have that
Right.
old number as well. When you add that Medicare, it boosted it up.
Because when it was given to you,
Yeah.
to your committee, it was the selectmen's approved budget, and the Medicare figure hadn't been increased yet.
Okay.
It was increased at your level because some kind of a calculation error was
Yes.
discovered and brought forward to the budget committee. So when you look at that multi-column report, MuniSmart report that I gave you tonight, you'll notice most of the budget committee approved column is all zeros
Yeah.
because you haven't approved any
Yeah.
budgets, except that Medicare line is in there, so that will reflect a difference.
Okay, what I guess I'm doing is, I'm looking at your lines instead of mine, because I made all those corrections that you asked me to make, and the 10,000's coming out of our budget and it's not showing up on yours, so.
Right,
I think
right.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through theirs, because I believe these are correct, because we're going to be $10,000 different between the two of us. So,
Well, it's probably gonna be a little bit more than that, because the selectmen's approved budgets were given to you as when they were approved, but there were, like, I think there was something in the library budget that had to be amended a little bit, but that was at your level, not the selectmen's level, so it's
Okay.
not gonna show up in the selectmen's
Yeah.
column.
okay, what it is, this is the one that I made all the changes that were sent to me, and ours is just going to be different. So, I think I'm going to take the bottom lines, and we should be right there, because I keep forgetting, you got your column and I have mine.
Yeah,
And what I did is I did fill them in. So, we can do this all at once, or I can take individual departments. How the committee would like to do this.
In which department do you think that the, not resolving, reconciliation number will be found?
It would be found in ours, because ours is $10,000 less than theirs.
So it will be found in multiple departments adding to that total.
Just one.
Which
It
is
would be
that?
the highway department is the only one that we got 10,000 out of. We did not make any, we've had several motions last week, all of them have failed. So there's only the 10,000 that we took out.
Then if I understand you correctly, the budgets are in agreement. And if we look at the highway department line
Yeah.
and find $10,000.37 and move that or agree that we want that will solve the problem. We can vote our budget and their budget, or those two budgets would be identical.
Okay, what it is, they have no numbers in here. They're waiting for us to approve these budgets as our budgets. When we go and meet again, we're going to sit down before the public hearing. We're going to combine and see if we can come to agreement to one number. Okay, this is our budget we're bringing out now, because the 10,000 came out of ours and not theirs, so there's a difference between the two. So what we're going to do is just approve ours. They'll have a column here they'll be able to fill in. Right now, they haven't got it filled in because they're waiting for our numbers. If we make any changes, that's where it's going to show up there, and then there'll be the difference between the two of us. And that's when we have our meeting, and we're going to sit down and go into it.
Then the second question was, we're not on a time crunch that it's presently 7:15 and 10:15 is not coming up. no, it can be done.
Okay, do you want to go individually? We can announce our numbers. Or do you want to just,
I have no preference. You put more work in on it. If it is to the advantage of the town to go through, starting from the top, on the chance that a second blip shows up. Is that useful?
That's useful. I'm doing that right now. There's only, I think, 3 or 4 in here, increases or decreases that were brought up at the budget committee level, so I entered those into the budget committee column.
okay,
And I can do that right now. So in answer to the first one, the fire department, 410,307 is the correct bottom line with that Medicare increase.
yes. And
So there's another one in conservation.
Yes,
Which
it
was a
is.
decrease, which is not gonna show in the selectmen's column because they approved it at a certain level. It was line 395 professional services, they approved it at 1,700, and then when it came to the budget committee, it was lowered to 1,597, so I can calculate that out quickly. And then there's also a couple of things in the welfare department that were lowered as well.
okay,
And those are in the budget committee
Yes.
column.
because I put them
Only a
there.
few.
So all of this stuff is in ours, so we're not, our
It's
numbers are
in-
not far off,
Right, right.
okay? So we can take it line, we can go individually, each department, and then you can look at their numbers and see. Luke?
I just want to go on record as saying 6.17% increase is just horrible. I don't,
That's not my sheet. I didn't come up with that. I can't do it.
it says here, your budget is 6.39
That's it.
increase over last year's. That's a lot of money. And I don't see how the taxpayers can have that on their backs. I just do not see it.
Okay.
And I'm not finished, please. And I would like to see this budget lowered. Maybe you want to give an almost 4% pay raise to the employees, fine. But you've got to find some other cuts. Because I see you going into a default budget with these kind of numbers.
Well, the selectmen have already approved.
I'm,
But it's at- it's
Liz,
in your
I'm sorry,
table. It's
but
on
this
your
is
table.
my opinion. A 6-point-something increase in 1 year. The town gave everybody everything last year. And when they see their tax bills, they're gonna have a heart attack. And this makes me ashamed.
Now,
Now I'm finished.
okay, let's look at it here. Look at the difference. The insurance and benefits have gone up significantly. And the debt service is now in full view.
You can defend it any way you want. I cannot see taxpayers seeing a 16.1%
16.
increase.
It's not 16.
A 6. That's a big increase.
Well,
We just had a big increase last year. They gave everybody everything.
These trucks are needed. This is needs. There is not a want in this budget. Do you want to offer
That's
something?
your opinion.
Do you want to offer something? This is our job now to make a different budget. It's up to you, Luke. Do you see anything there? I'm open to it.
Nobody on this board wants to stand up and make any hard choices. They don't. So why should I? I can't even get a second to get $200 out of here.
Luke,
So I just had to state my opinion. Everybody can see it on television that wants it. That's my opinion. I think 6.17 is too much of an increase.
okay.
You don't want to take it out of one line, send it back to the selectmen, make them
No.
cut it.
This is our job.
Well, nobody will stand up.
The only thing,
So
Luke,
that's my
the
opinion.
only step I can see right here, services. And I tell you right now, I'm starting to see some of it. There was another budget I would like to raise, but I'm not going to. We're starting to get what we wanted, and now it's starting to go back. This is a bare bones budget. I just don't see any place where you can cut this.
This
Pat
is
is
not
trying
a
to
bare
do-
bones budget.
Well, tell me where we can cut. This is, you bring it up and we'll vote on it.
You can't get anything by these other people.
because they probably see the same thing
Well,
I do.
you have your opinion, Bob.
Okay,
I
that's-
get to
that's-
say mine.
Okay. we're all-
Without getting nasty, okay?
We're all done. Okay, first one, town administrator. I have $274,206. Need a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Who's second it?
Second.
Paul. Okay. Do a roll call vote. John?
Yes.
A yes would be, yeah. Stan?
Well, I have a dilemma, because if you're gonna do a roll call and you're gonna do each individual line, but you're not in favor of the whole budget,
Well,
how's
I
that gonna
asked-
break out?
I asked if you wanted to do it that way. Do you want to do the whole budget? We can do it that way.
I think that would, much as I hate to say it, I think that might be in your best interest.
All right, then I guess I'm going to...
Withdraw my motion.
Okay, Tom,
Throw a second.
okay. All right, so... Okay, now, I'll make a motion that the Budget Committee's
Excuse me,
number...
Chairman, could I please say something in our defense of,
All right,
because I think it's only fair. Lou is sitting there saying that we've bloated this budget up 6%. And I'm looking at Liz's budget, it's a little over $1,000 from last year.
you know, maybe I shouldn't have put the percentage in there. What I did is cut and paste. I was paste link everything, and then I used a formula to get the percentage of the total. And it comes out to 6.39, and I could be in error. I probably shouldn't have done that. Okay.
Because it's a little unsettling, you know, because
Yes,
this
it
is, you know, out at the public. And, you know, I'm really defending her budget because
Yeah.
we went through this budget and we lowered it. And for her to sit up there and say there's a 6.1% increase is, it's not true.
Well, the thing is, it's probably my error, but I was taking the totals from each one, and that's what happened. I used the Excel spreadsheet. I was using the 2015, just so you know, the 2015 against our budget, or 2015 against the selectmen's, and you get the you subtract it, and then you put a formula in there, and gives you a percentage. It's probably incorrect. I shouldn't have never put it in there.
I'm just going by what is printed here.
It may be error, be an
That's
error.
not our, that's not the,
That's not theirs. It doesn't-
Well, I'm just,
I understand,
For everybody to understand, I'm the one that put these together. And I didn't ask the town, I was trying to simplify things by putting the numbers in each department, put it on the master sheet, and any changes you made in any of the budgets would reflect on the first page. Yes, Larry?
Maybe to make things perhaps a little bit less tense, two of my favorite statistics are chicken beef stew. And you make it up 50-50, one cow, one chicken. The second statistic is you have 9 dogs in the room and 1 dead cat. The cat has a 90% chance of being able to bark. The percentage raise and the actual number vary by different departments. One third comment on costs. Congressman Genta and I share a great sympathy with each other. He presently has walking pneumonia. I had it same time last year. He did not come to yesterday's meeting. I put the question to his staff. He has a bill for billions of dollars in federal waste. I asked to identify 3 agencies of the federal government by location, by program, and by particular line item where he had identified at least $1 million and sent a letter to that agency demanding that they stop that waste. The congressman will get that. It is a hard thing. I agree with Liz that when a budget goes up in a community that is so heavily impacted by the property tax, it is tough going. That does not change the costs of the government for this town that come in from third-party sources that can't be controlled.
Okay.
We just did the math. It's $258,297.80 increase.
That's what I get per hours.
That is $250,000.
Overall, you're talking bottom line?
Yes,
Okay.
it's not 1,000. Okay.
No, I'm talking Liz's budget.
I'm talking overall, okay?
Okay, so,
Just so I don't.
Dan, did you get the percentage on that?
It is over 6%.
Okay, so my numbers are correct. Yes, Don?
If I might ask you, what prices go up? Everything goes up, with the exception of gas this year. It's falling dramatically. The price of fuel go up. What would be considered an acceptable increase? 6% is too high. What's an acceptable? I'm asking you. I don't have any idea. I think 6% is awful high too. But I also look at the budget and I don't see where we can take 6% from. And what would be an acceptable flat budget? Would 2% low? 2%? What would be
What is this? 2%?
What?
You asked me, huh?
No, that's a question I asked when I started involved with the budget committee, and I think the answer was 2%. Correct?
There's costs that
From the
are
budget
not-
committee.
We can't control cost, what it is. You know, 'cause we put the budget together. If you look at this budget, if anybody's got a place to cut, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, I would suggest that you take a look at the 9-year period and see what you have for an average. I think you're gonna find it's up around 5%, isn't it?
Not really.
No, I don't
No.
know. It's within the unit of measurement. I can't remember what it was. You said it. We were right on target. That's even with the school. But I think what we're doing now is we're going to beat this to death. The only thing is very simple. Look at your budget. You can see where the increases are. The debt service is heavy, but it's needed equipment. If we don't have it, you'll soon find out when the first snowfall hits. And we're down some employees, 2 employees.
No, we're down more than that. Those were just two that I mentioned.
Oh,
No,
more?
3. Really?
3?
Yeah.
Okay,
If I may,
yes, Dan.
I've sat on this board, how many years? On and off, quite a few.
Quite a few.
I've lost count. And every year I say the same thing. People are gonna look at the bottom dollar, and they're gonna pick the one that's between the default number and the budget, and normally they're gonna pick the one that's the less. Right now, we have $24,386 difference between the default and our proposed budget.
How much?
$24,386. So, unless you get the budget below the default, I have a feeling I'd be probably willing to bet money that people are gonna take that $24,386 in the vote. Because I agree with Lou, when they get their tax bill this month or next month, there's gonna be a lot of upset people.
But then again, we're here tonight. We can go back in anywhere. Find it for me, because I cannot find it.
Well,
I mean, that's me. I can't see anything in here. I tell you, there's some that I really question how, if they're gonna make it. They've reduced their own budgets.
I think there's areas that could be addressed,
Well,
all right?
bring it
But
up.
for one, I kind of agree with Lou. That's why I'm not opposed to you doing your vote and see how it shakes out, because I, for one, over the years, have also said that I like the idea of saying where we should have a budget at, and let them pick where they want to take it out of.
Can't do that by law. State
Yeah.
statute mandates that the budget committee's got to designate a line to take it from.
If not,
We in the
we can-
past have gone to the selectmen and say, this is where we'd like to be.
It's been done wrong. We found that out, I think it was either last year or the year before, and Bruce Brook was his chair. Yeah, and you had some back.
Yeah, I remember that, because
State
this
law
is,
dictates.
see, it's our budget that will go out. We sit down, we'll negotiate, but there's very little to negotiate to. Well, no, I'm giving you an opportunity to find something in here. I'm giving you all the opportunities to do it. It'd be on record that you,
Like I said, I tried even to get $200 out of here and I couldn't. So that just tells me,
okay, that's, we're gonna go with the motion. I need a motion to approve the budget committee's number of $4,189,455.25.
What was that number again, Bob?
$4,189,000.
What, 89?
What?
4489?
4189.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me go back again. $4,189,455.25.
Yeah.
We'll give you the 25 cents.
We'll take it. Being very generous.
Now, is that, the motion for which you want a second?
I need a motion, period. I need somebody to motion.
So we are still in discussion.
Yeah, we are.
That,
The only thing is, nobody's actually motioned or put a second to it.
then we're still in the general discussion of the board and the committee. The selectman chair has said that it is the responsibility of the budget committee to set a dollar budget and to have a final dollar budget. And we may not send the gross figure back to the selectmen that does not identify a line from which $24,386 can be taken. That does that, and either the chair or the chair of the selectmen can answer. If there were a line in the selectmen's budget that had $25,000 in it, that was part of the general expenditures of the selectmen, would the selectmen not be able to transfer to that line $25,000 from other categories as required over the course of the year? Is that true?
If you're asking, can we move money from line to line as long as it's within the same purpose, yes.
Within the same purpose?
Yeah, same budget, same purpose, operating budget. The purpose of the operating budget is to operate the town. So what I'm saying is, I don't want somebody to come up and say, well, you can take money out of your capital reserve fund and offset this.
No.
Same purpose of the budget.
Operating budget.
Yeah.
The operating budget has in it the purpose of the assessor, the purpose of the clerk, the purpose of the welfare department, the purpose of the fire, the purpose of the police, the purpose
Operating the town.
operating the town. So if, for example, the first one comes to mind, tax collector had a budget of $24,387, it would be possible to leave non-elected, we've picked,
It would already been taken out when we went through it.
no, that's not the point. There is in your budget somewhere a line that has $24,387 in it. And I'm saying to get down below the default, we need a budget that is $24,387 less.
That's budgeting, we're shooting the darts.
That's not the dart, that's a loaded harpoon.
When you take money out of a line, there has to be a reason to take it out. You can't just say, oh, I'm taking $5,000 out of the line because I don't like that line. There's got to be a reason. So, I mean, you have to have a reason to take it out of the line, and you got to say which line you want to take it out of.
The official minutes of a committee need only have the motion, the second, and the vote of those in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
All.
But when it comes to budgeting, it's a little different.
Well, no further comment.
Okay. Still need a motion.
What number would you like?
Need a motion to approve the budget committee's budget number of $4,189,455.25. I should have rounded it off.
And 25 cents?
Yes.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
okay. I'm gonna take a roll call vote again. John,
Yes.
Stan,
No?
Lou,
No?
okay, Tom,
No.
let's see. Larry,
I'll do yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
and the chair says yes. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I forgot to put you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes, and Mike, you're gonna probably stay with the selectmen?
I am.
Okay, that's yes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6 for
6-3. Motion passes. Now, this is not the final number here. Well, we can still open this up.
The motion was made and it was
It
seconded
was-
and it was
Yes, it
carried.
does, but that's not our final number. We can still come back, because after the public hearing.
The deliberative session and stuff, it can be changed, but as
even
far as
after
our
the-
board,
Even after the public hearing, we're gonna have to go out and vote again. If the public
Right.
starts, we may have to review this again. So I'm just putting it on here. This is just to give the selectmen a number to fill into their column. And what we're gonna do is, we're not gonna meet till, I suspect, somewhere in December, because school starts a week from today. And we're gonna be looking at the default budget. We're gonna go over it. And by that time, I would think the warrant article will be ready.
Yeah, they should be.
Well, we don't have to meet, it's gonna be late December. You know, and I haven't set no date on that, because it depends on what we do with the school. We've got them for the next 3 weeks. Or we could do it in January, but the public hearing has not been set. And the school did set theirs, but I don't know. The last date we can have a public hearing is January 19th, if I read it right. In the,
Yeah, it's
oh,
mid-January
Yeah.
sometime, yeah.
yeah, because I know I don't have my schedule for the school, but they've already made theirs, so. So the approved budget is there. If there's,
$1 million increase. Unbelievable.
okay, old business, water district written report and receipts and disbursements.
Lisa wanted me to give you this. some more.
Okay. I'm going to table this. I'm going to table this only because I got the information late this morning. I didn't get a chance to print out all the paperwork so everybody can take a look at it. Their computer went down and they finally got it up, and while I was there getting some information, they couldn't get this paper that I was looking for, so they finally got it back up. What we're just doing is to look at their revenues and expenses. And the other thing too is, I see what you were talking about. I have some information for SIR. I saw the overage. And the only thing I don't have is, on the website, it's not updated, and the minutes are in the town clerk's office.
Yes.
And I saw them on the draft, still draft minutes there. Usually that's a big help.
No, if you approve minutes, should be up here.
Okay, well, the last date I had was September 29th in the town clerk's office. I went and checked. They're still on the board. There's still two draft minutes there.
Lisa usually gives it right to Michelle.
Okay, but that's, I asked Michelle, she said that's the last one I got, so. But that does help, because the minutes do tell what is going on.
Well, yes, because we just approved, today, we just approved the October minutes, so September would have been the last ones.
Yes.
So, yeah, so today we approved the October ones.
Okay, now, I asked Dana about that, and she does not put them on the site. It's gone so far as April, the last meeting minutes were in April on the website, which is good, because I see the invoices and what's being paid. And
we're not opposed to putting them on the website. I
No.
mean,
Well, some of those that you put in, I see what's going on. You do have a problem somewhere. And the information she gave, I just couldn't print them out. I just don't have a printer right now. I was able to print out what I had right here, and that was it.
I mean, we took a big hit. I mean,
Yes, you did.
when the town forecloses on property, with any money owed, we get nothing.
Yeah.
So that affects us.
Okay.
Even after you sell the property, we get nothing.
You don't get no,
Nothing.
okay. Well, the
How
thing
can
is,
they do that?
it is
Well,
shown.
ask the selectmen. They made the decision.
Okay, well, this was something that I saw, and I saw the pictures, so. she was
Oh,
very-
we're open book. I mean, as you can see.
Oh, yeah. This is just nothing wrong. It's to justify everything. We see it. I'm starting to see it. I've already got some of your minutes, which has been helpful. So I'm going to get this all to the committee. I need to put it in there and give you a chance to look at it. This was one of the pieces I was looking for, and she got it going. She tried real hard while I was there, and it just wouldn't work. Lou?
Can I ask a question? Why are you so worried about that right now when their meeting isn't until late March?
The thing is, it affects the town's budget. They're asking for 15% increase. We have to sort of justify it. We have to do that. And it's once in a while, this is a rare occasion. Usually the budget committee never asks for any revenues during the year. It does before we give them the public hearing. And they've been very, very gracious to us and given us everything they have. I mean, I have a lot of information, and I need to print it out for all of them so they can look at it. Like Stan said, their books are open. So there was no problem. I just wanted to justify it. What you gave us, I need a little more. So they-
Unfortunately, the computer crashed
Yeah.
after the last meeting, and we actually didn't have a computer for over a week. It was at the computer place. We ended up having to put everything into a new computer.
She was gracious enough to call me down there, and she was still working on it when she was there. And she got that, and this is the last one. I appreciate that very much. But we're going to table it till maybe the next meeting, so I can get some printouts and send it to the committee members. Okay, next is members' comments. Anybody got any comments?
I got a comment.
John?
I'm very disappointed in the results of this meeting tonight. You all know, I'm a short guy on the force here, but I think we got to find a different process and a different way of working together as a group for the total town of Milton. This sitting here tonight, as far as I'm concerned, I've wasted my time even coming to this meeting. I'm sorry, that's my feeling, but I recommend strongly that we, all of us, start looking at things for the taxpayers' reasons, to start working together instead of going through this BS that I've heard all night here tonight. That's all I have.
Anybody else? Are you all set?
Well, perhaps not. I don't believe that on any committee that I've been part of, and Stan and I disagree from time to time, and I make sure that I thank him for things that he has done well that I agree with, and I thank him for his attention to detail. And I would never say that he has wasted my time, and I would not, for a public meeting, even use the polite phrase, BS. I do not think that is good public discourse, and it is a discourtesy to people who give their time, whatever their commitment is. And if you want to reduce this budget, there are some very simple ways to do it. You can take $500,000 off health insurance, dental insurance. You can get rid of the town planner and the Economic Development Committee funds. You can get rid of the deputy treasurer. You can get rid of the deputy clerk. And you will have more than 3 employees leaving the DPW. And we are come a different time from Mr. Gagne saying that the employee's raise is having a job. The fact that people have come and walked from DPW suggests that that may not be the case. The other thing I object to is what I will call rats in a barrel. And what you do is you put a couple of rats in the barrel and you wait. And then there's one rat left in the barrel and you send that one out to get the rest of the employees. That's not community spirit. That's not Milton. And I thank everybody on the committee for their viewpoint and work.
Okay. Anybody else? Public comments? Yes, Chief.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if the members read the article in Foster's about the funding issues at the police academy. But those funding issues are going to start coming back to towns and to the residents of those towns because of the fact that the funding mechanism that is for the police academy is quite a bit outdated at this point. So until the legislature makes some changes on the funding mechanism of that, we're going to start seeing the training lines of police departments, hours, going up. We've already seen at least 4 different classes that the academy used to put on that they are no longer going to be putting on. So some agencies around us have sponsored those trainings, but we now have to pay per seat to send an officer to those trainings. So one of those trainings would be like our accident reconstruction. Accident reconstruction, there are 3 levels of classes to take. For the 3rd class that we would have had an officer been able to go to, it costs us about $1,000 to send that officer to that 1 2-week class. If the funding mechanism isn't corrected up there, we're going to see ours increase because to keep the certifications of our officers, they have to have a minimum of 8 hours of training per year. So if we have to start paying for each class that the officer has to go to, we're going to be spending a lot of money in training.
I saw that article.
So we're hopeful that the legislature will find different funding mechanism than is currently being used. But if not, I can tell you right now, we've already seen classes that are getting cut, and we're going to have to start paying to send officers to those classes.
Thanks, Chief. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm just kind of curious. I think we can all agree that the budget's been stripped down pretty well. There's not a whole lot left to strip out of it. We all agree that what is killing the budget is uncontrolled costs, namely the insurance. And we also know that the wages for the DPW and others are very low. At what point, and who does it, will somebody take the initiative to A, increase the wages, and B, reduce the cost of insurance by bringing up?
Okay, that's something that's on our radar. We talked about last night, we talked about in the past. There's a warrant article we're going to put forward for the DPW wages.
Okay.
That's going to address that part of it. Hopefully, it's going to be up to the public whether they want to do it or not. Same as we do with the police department a few years back.
Okay.
The insurances, we've got some things we talked about last night as far as grandfather, the existing employees, putting an 80-20 on across the board.
Mhm.
There were a couple other things we talked about, buybacks, as if somebody didn't want to have the insurance, have the opportunity of having a buyback.
Are you limited by who you can purchase the insurance plans from?
No, but I don't think you can find a better rate. We tag on with school care,
Okay.
and that's,
I don't. The reason why I asked is I just traded jobs, and I just reduced my insurance premiums from $178 for my wife and I down to $120. And that's just my wife and I just hear now that you're talking $74 for a family, and I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah.
So is there some way we can find a middle where it's actually competitive and turn around and recover those costs for?
we started looking at this process probably too late once we got our numbers this year. And like we talked about last night, as soon as we get past the budget season,
So
that's gonna be on our radar
So
to
you,
address all
Board of
this.
Selectmen initiates that then?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You all set?
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else on public comments? Yes, Larry?
One other from what the chief was talking about. Right now, one of the sadder things in state government is the Department of Correctional Services looking for volunteers to maintain the records of the department. There is nothing in the state more crucial than the idea of someone getting what they deserve and being treated accurately as a prisoner and as a member of the public. And the budget of the state is in such disarray that they are looking for volunteers to help out in an agency which controls people's lives. Just a thought. On costs.
Anybody else? Yes.
You know, going through these budgets, I don't want my taxes to be raised any more than anybody else, okay? And when we're going through these budgets, Selectman Beaulieu asked every department head, if they could cut, and they did. And, you know, I think that these budgets, I know that these budgets are bare bone. Other than the debt to service and the health insurance where we can't control. And you're not gonna get any better than this, in my view. So, you know, I'm sorry, but this is what it is. And I think we've done a good job.
The only next step would be is to cut services. That's the only option there is left. I've looked at this budget and I can't find anything in there I can take out. I wanted to add one and it didn't work, so. I think it's just gonna be tight, it's gonna be site unknown. We don't know what next year brings and they're just taking a chance. They have experience, so they feel that they can make it work. I'm sure they will. Is there anybody else in the public? Okay. Our next meeting is Tuesday, December 1st, 2015. The school budget presentations. This will be held at the high school. Will that be in the cafeteria or will that be in the... Okay. Any new business that comes before the board? Any new business? Yes, Dan?
Would it be possible to have the school be held here so it can be recorded?
I was just gonna add, I don't know why we do it up there because there's not a lot of public that comes and there's certainly enough room.
Can you get back to me on that?
Oh, there's no problem in
Oh,
moving it.
wait a minute. The only problem I have
Oh,
is...
is this room booked?
Is this room.
Right.
Because December 1st, I believe the planning board meets here.
December 1st, that is a Tuesday?
That's a Tuesday. These are all Tuesday dates.
Oh. No, that'd be the planning board.
The planning board will be here. And December 8th, anybody on this date?
First Tuesday in December?
Yes.
Planning board here.
It's such a large budget. I think it'd be very much in the interest of the public to have it recorded.
I would say yes, but that's not my decision. It's gonna be the selectmen, but depends on what they have on their agenda.
I don't want to go to school. It's one that you gotta get out. They don't want to go back there.
Is there anyone on the planning board that you know that's hot and pressing?
I won't, she hasn't done the agenda yet.
We still have time. It's just, can we,
They go downstairs?
no, because what it is, the idea is to be on
No,
video.
can the planning board go
Planning board
downstairs? Sorry, Brian.
How about Dunkin' Donuts?
There you go.
One night of work we have.
Well,
We'll go downstairs if we have to, or I'll just cancel a meeting, do the budget committee.
works for me.
I don't know what's on the agenda, but we can go downstairs.
And will the chairman...
This is one of those rare occasions, I've got to agree with Stan, that's an important budget that's going to be seen.
I'm retiring.
That's it. That's gonna stay on the records. Okay, so now, I guess I have to put this on hold until I know from the school.
Oh, it's fine.
They'll come down here?
Of course I will.
And Larry will be cruising me to...
So the next meeting is here. Yeah, we're here. Okay,
I'm definitely going.
That's fine. Same bat time.
all
I
right.
think it's at 6,
Now-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're here. Town hall. Before
What?
I get,
Is it on the 8th too?
No,
It's
no.
on the next several Tuesdays.
one more item on this, on the budget. I will probably get a call in that some of the school, not the records, what I want to say, their budgets will be brought here, and I'll send them, and send everybody an email, if you come down here and pick them up. Okay, they'll drop them off here, and sometimes before the week is out, they'll drop off all our budgets and give us a chance to look at them.
It should be here tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Any
okay.
luck? Yep.
He will probably let me know, and I'll let you people know, you come down here and pick them up. We have a box out the back. Okay, anything else on the new business? Okay, now I need a motion to adjourn.
Got it?
Okay, Stan, so second.
Sure.
All right, all those in favor?